So, I made a video at the end of February where I reacted to the initial Three Hopes trailer, and I made a lot of shot in the dark predictions as to what they will do with the game. Personally, I thought my take was pretty lukewarm. I said the game would be bad, but I thought it was pretty generous given the trailer that they gave us initially. But some people found my take to be a little too scorching hot, and I woke up this morning to like a really big spike in views and a number of new comments on my video, and I saw that the new trailer dropped, and I'll be honest, I'm really impressed with it. Obviously, a lot of my predictions from my original video were wrong, but I had no idea that they were going to go full fan fiction alternate universe with this one, because that's what it is. At the end of the day, they really just did whatever they wanted, and I'm not really mad at that. Anyways, I'm making a new video with new thoughts and new predictions about what is going to happen with the game, including some things that I noticed in the trailer. Obviously, I have to make a new video because my last video kind of blew up, and given that my channel is itty bitty small, gotta capitalize on that. Also, I'm not really doubling back. I don't think anything I said in my first video was like particularly egregious. The first trailer was really disappointing, but given Mysterious Mercenary, I think the announcement trailer was not only bad, but it was a huge misrepresentation of what the final product will look like. I feel like they maybe did this on purpose. I don't know. But the first trailer, all it did was like show off main characters we already know and reminded us of their motivations from Three Houses, which really made it seem like they weren't treading new ground. And I think this trailer, Mysterious Mercenary, deliberately ends with the quote, "New stories will unfold," so that we know this is more than just a Three Houses AU with a couple of newbies sprinkled in, told as a Muso game with like an FE coat of paint. Because that was really the vibe from the announcement trailer. The announcement trailer was honestly so bad in hindsight, given that this is what they were just like holding on to, because this was just so much better. So going through the trailer, I think changing the story's perspective to the new characters and taking it off of Byleth, who is clearly now serving in some sort of anti-hero role, obviously as opposed to the protagonist or the primary villain, is honestly more creative than I thought they would be. I was quite shocked that they were really twisting things on their head and making their previous main character into someone who we don't know if we can really trust or not, especially given the voiceover that happens in the trailer. Now that we for sure know that we're playing as Shez, I think that we're sort of playing from the perspective of those who slither in the dark, and I think that there will be conflict between the two progenitor gods that we see on the box art of the game. So I think that's part of why there is conflict between Byleth and Shez. Shez is not a great name. I don't like it. And I think the boy design looks significantly better than the girls, which sucks because I usually prefer to pick like the girl MC. But I will be, I guess, giving a boy this time around. In general, it looks like a lot of the fighting has been imbued with elemental effects. So like a lot of Edelgar's moves have fire. Dimitri and Hilda have moments where there's like lightning coming out of their weapons. Claude's attacks literally look like wind arrows. I still think the combat looks bland. I don't love Muso games. They're not my vibe. But I do appreciate that they've put some effort into making this game a little bit more visually stimulating, especially in comparison to the first Warriors game. That one was just not it. I'm really surprised that they opted to do branching paths. We don't know who the antagonists for each paths are going to be. Based on the original trailer, one could have assumed that they were introducing the purple-haired protagonist that we didn't know at the time to be the villain just because Byleth is their central character, but clearly they didn't do that. So I don't know who we're fighting. Who are we fighting? The cutscenes in this game look really, really good. It was one of the only highlights I noted from the first trailer was the cutscenes there looked really excellent as well. And that hasn't changed. If anything, it looks like we're getting a lot of cutscenes. I hope this game is honestly pretty heavy with the cinematics. Since they seem to be showing us a lot, I hope that there's more in the game and that they're not showing us the brunt of them in the trailers, since usually FE doesn't do too many pre-rendered scenes. I also really appreciate that a lot of side characters are permitted to be in the scenes as well. I think it helps a lot with bringing more of the cast to life. Like Hilda can play a bigger role, Dedu can play a bigger role. Just a great way to really integrate your cast and make them feel important and like they're impacting the world. I thought this screen cap was pretty funny because it looks like the battle's starting, but there's a bunch of soldiers just like yossed in the air. Combat arts and magic have been streamlined into one menu. It looks like they're being treated the same. We don't know how these executables are going to work in the game, but we know that they're there. There's for sure black and white offensive magic, and battalions are also included. They really set up Byleth as a anti-hero, antagonistic figure in this trailer, but we can clearly see that on this like mission setup screen that Byleth is fighting with us. So it's difficult to tell who's antagonistic in the narrative. They might do a sort of unreliable thing where we're the bad guy the whole time, and that's why Byleth makes an attempt on her life in the trailer. I don't know what they're doing with that. It's definitely helped to build a lot of intrigue, though, because I'm interested to find out the answer. Healing is itemized. You can see that Edelgard has a couple of vulneraries in her satchel, in her pocket, and that there's an option for her to travel to another part of the map and heal another party member. I would assume that there isn't really magic healing unless it's an equipped ability, but we didn't see anything affirming or disproving that. Monica is the red-haired girl. This is a post-time skip design. Everyone who called that was Monica, you are correct. I was not. I wonder if other side characters will be important to the other two paths, since I noticed that Monica is featured pretty heavily in both trailers, and she's also featured in a lot of the cutscenes with Edelgard and Hubert in Mysterious Mercenary, so I wonder if there are any side folks who are going to be playing bigger roles in the other two paths that we just don't know about yet. Adjutants are available. I think it'll work pretty similar to the pair-up system in the first FE Warriors. The battle prep in the base camp looked really, really cool. I think the base camp will serve as sort of like a pared down version of what the monastery does, especially since we have the overworld map to sort of more seamlessly get certain items. I don't know if you can only get special items within the overworld, and then the monastery will have like access to more regular shops. Multiple class lines, at least for the main character, has been confirmed. We can see that their equipped class in the battle menu is Flugel, but obviously they show us that they can switch classes later in the trailer. The class designs are pulled directly from Three Houses. It doesn't look like they really changed anything, at least nothing I can see at a glance. Lorenz and Mercedes were confirmed to be included in the game in this trailer. The wiki also shows that Dorothea and Bernadetta are included as well, but they're not shown as clearly as the former two. I think Dorothea and Bernadetta were shown as little sprites on the map during the battle sequence, but it was honestly pretty hard to tell, so I actually don't know. I'm trusting the cyber sleuths to know the truth. Who is that man on the Wyvern? He sort of looks like a villainous Claude, very handsome, kind of exciting to see probably an antagonist from Almyra. They really promised that they would expand on the world, and it sounds like what they're doing. I'm curious to know if he's a family member to anybody, because it seems like they're really giving that to us this game, but I can't imagine anyone related to Claude being given the villain edit. The next character, Holst. How thrilling. I was so excited. Holst is like my number one family member who is unseen, who I wanted to be in the game, or even just included as like a DLC in Three Houses. Just, he sounds so important, and they talk about him so much. So it's fitting that given the opportunity to expand on the world, they're including him. I knew initially from the pink hair, pink eyes, I was like, there's no way that's not Holst. There's no way that's not Holst. And then in my subsequent rewatches of the trailer, I saw the crest of Goneril on his back, and I was like, absolutely, absolutely. How amazing, how amazing, how amazing. I'm on board. Sign me up. I'm paying for my pre-order today. How phenomenal. I'm just so thrilled. I'm assuming the person he's fighting is Count Burgleys. I'm mostly just basing this on the fact that he has blue hair. He looks old. He looks like he's in the War Master class. He's using gauntlets to fight. Very Kaspar's dad energy. It makes sense. You know, if there's a war happening, that the Minister of Military Affairs would want to be a part of it. So many characters who should have been included, even if just for script reasons, in Three Houses. I'm quite satisfied that they're showing up here. It makes sense. It's consistent. I can't believe they went there. It's so exciting. Like, obviously I knew that they were going to introduce some new characters, but I didn't think that they were going to go above and beyond like this. Since they've shown 2 for sure family members, I expect everyone to have a brother, a sister, a parent, a grandparent, just at least one. And if I don't get that, I'm going to be severely disappointed. And we all know that there's a wide threshold for that with me. So that's it for the Mysterious Mercenary trailer. Overall, I think why this reveal was more enjoyable for me was because it gave me a lot of things that I want as a fan, particularly giving designs to the faceless characters who should have been involved in Three Houses. And it was also nice to get like a more accurate glimpse into what Three Hopes is actually going to look like, because we really didn't get that in the first trailer. So it's pretty exciting, honestly, to know how this game is actually going to play and what it's about. Clearly, based on the first trailer, I don't think we got a good sense of what this game is. This game expands on the world in a way that I really wanted to see, that I think a lot of people who really like Three Houses wanted to see. So I'm mostly still looking forward to what all of these characters are going to be like. And I still think Muso games are bad. Bye!